Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where I just went through and carved a few additional outlets for water over here, but we're definitely seeing the water level getting more normal. So that is good. The water level is improving here, and we kind of just have these built in by default because of the highways here, so that's reasonably fine, I think, for the moment. We might need something out over this way, and actually, taking a look at this definitely we could do something about. So I'm just going to use the slope tool here, and we're just going to bring up the size a little bit, and we're just going to do something kind of like that. Okay, then we can soften that out a little bit and have it be something along the lines of this. Cool. So slightly better, but it obviously needs more work. For the time being, I'm still interested in allowing these areas... Oh, it's raining. That's convenient. By convenient, I mean the other thing. I'm still interested in allowing these areas to drain out, and we're definitely seeing it drain out, right? That's definitely what's happening here. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 45% sure that it's draining out. So as you can see, I added in a drainage spot over here, which I'm not entirely certain is being utilized, but that's okay. And then there's a drainage spot that was added over here, which is definitely being utilized. So that's good. So I think we're getting this river under control now. We should be seeing this area over here not filling at all because we're waiting on this little region here to fill up. And it's definitely filling up. There's no doubt about it. We've also got, awkward things like this, which I'm sure will eventually get taken care of as various areas start to fill up. Now, I want to point out here, this area is only going to get as high as this, right? So we probably do want to have an additional, quasi-dam right here. And I want to have a series of these, actually. So right about here, I want to grab this height or so and just slot that in right there. Although, I tried to control Z. Obviously, that doesn't work. I don't like the positioning of this, and so I'm just going to bring that right back down. There we go. And now I'm going to grab this height again, and I want this to be about right here. And we're just going to put that in like that. Okay. And I just want this to be actually a little higher than that. I don't like how the camera snaps between these heights. It's not great. But we'll just have this be about right here. So the purpose behind this is to regulate the height level of the water. This means that this water, once it gets to this point, will be no lower than this once it fills in. Which is going to take some time. That is absolutely going to take some time. So in the meantime, I want to hop down over here. Actually, we know that there's some traffic jams going on here. This doesn't really look like a traffic jam. They're just making awkward lane changes. Okay. What do we have going on over here? Because I saw some markers over this way as well. That looks more like a traffic jam. Okay. So the reason that I believe that this is happening is because there's not a lot of ways to get from this area over to this area, right? We only have so many crossings, but they're all piling in right here, and this area is getting a little bit overwhelmed. So if we look at how far back this traffic jam goes, it does go back quite a ways, no doubt about that. But what's really the problem here is they're trying to go here to here, and then from here to here, which is very strange. Odd pathfinding. We'll see if that clears up. I think that's more of a pathfinding issue than a design issue, but I think there is some design issue there. I also think that we should probably consider putting an on-ramp right here. I think there's room for it, and we would need to do a little bit of terraformation, but we can definitely level this out a little bit over here, and then think about putting an on-ramp in over here. I think that would help matters, but I don't think it would exactly solve them. So this would come in right up over here like that. Okay. So that'll add an additional way to do that. Can we get an off-ramp over here? That would help matters as well if we could. Overlapping items. Yeah, it would have to come out like over here in a slightly awkward way. But we can do that. Okay. That should alleviate some of the pressure on this roundabout. By no means will it do all. Oh, we don't have on-off ramps here either. That's a problem. So that is, I think, a big part of the reason why this is happening. So let's just put this guy right up over here-ish. That slope too steep. Okay. We'll spread it out a little further then. That's better. Okay. And we'll just bring that in about like that. So that will help matters as well. Checking the rest of these. Yeah, for now that's okay. What do we have going on here? This isn't really a traffic jam. Traffic is moving quasi-okay, but people are stopping here. And then sometimes backing up and changing their lane. That's a little insane. That's not how this works. I don't know why that's how they're changing lanes. They shouldn't be changing lanes that way. They should just go in here and change the lane there. But whatever, it's cleared up. So for now, that's reasonably fine. We do have a lot of demand, of course, and I would like to bring these roads down. So that'll be about here. And we've got, yes, this highway is being a jerk. Okay, we'll just remove this section of highway for the time being, and we'll put these roads through. That'll be fine. So just bring that down to here. And then we'll bring this guy down as well. Yep, right about there. And then we'll bring this guy down as well. Technically, I think these are at slightly different spots, but it's fine. So that'll work for now. And then we will bring this guy right on in. So that we would put this approximately here-ish. Maybe we would bring it out from here, though. Yes. Yes, we would. So we put that there, and then there, 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 and there. Okay. So that'll do, and then this area can get filled in, but we will need some on-off ramps, so we'll do that right here. On-off ramps will go here, of course, and we'll go into Curve Tool, and we'll just bring this up and in, and then out and in. Wait, technically this didn't get connected. Okay, there we go. That'll do. Next up, of course, we'll need off-ramps approximately here or so. And that's a little further out than I want it to go. So about there. And then about there. Yep, that'll do. Phenomenal. And then on-off ramps on this side, of course. Slightly awkward positioning, but whatever. We'll just position it about there, and then about... Actually, I think it needs to go about here. Yep, about there. Phenomenal. And then about here... That slope too steep. Really? Okay. But that works. Sure. We'll do it that way. And then bringing it in up over here. Phenomenal. Now we'll need some ramps over this way. We already have the other side of these, so that should be reasonably fine. No real issue there. And then we'll bring this on down over... I guess here will do. Okay, so that gets this meta block ready to go. So at this point, we can zone this up, and we're going to do exactly that with low-density housing over here. We do have some demand for medium-density housing, but I'm just going to do low-density for right now. About like that. Medium density could maybe go out over here, where things are going to be a little bit more awkward. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab a 2-lane road, and we're going to have this come out over here or so in Curve Tool. And we're just going to approximately match the curve of this highway. Yep, about there. And then this can continue to come up over here. Of course, there's a pillar there. Why wouldn't there be? Okay, let's pull that out of there for now. And we'll get that put back in a moment. Okay. So then we'll bring this out over, that's a little bit too far, out over here or so. And then out over to here or so. Okay, so that'll do on this side for the moment, and we'll just bring this highway right back through. There we go. Phenomenal. So that gets us some additional territory over here. Then, of course, we're going to need to bring this road straight on down. And that'll connect in right here. And then we'll come on over this way. There we go. And we'll extend this road down. Phenomenal. So this is all looking pretty decent over here. No major issues at the moment. We'll just get that put in about like that, and then get this guy. Over here, we're going to, I think, yeah, we're going to be running into this here. Okay, I guess that's fine. And then we'll just extend this down. Then this section over here is going to be zoned medium density housing. So we're going to rezone this entire area over here to be medium density housing. Everything up here as well is going to be swapped over to medium density housing. So that's going to be a lot of abandoned structures out over here, but that's understood. We do need some medium density housing. Now this down here is going to be low density, but we need to extend out our roads down here. There we go. Once again, it has forgotten to not disable the ads. There we go. Cool. And we're just going to move this straight on down like so. Okay. So something along the lines of this. That'll do. And then we'll need to extend this road down here and figure out how we want to handle all of this. But for the time being, that will be absolutely fine. Let's bring our highway through, of course. And we can just deposit that guy right about... Boy, it does not want to snap to angle. Only snap to angle, please. Thank you. There we go. That'll do. So now we're going to need our on-off ramps here. And we also need a road that is going through like this. Okay. Now we don't have a road here because of this awkwardness. Actually, it would let us build this. I don't know that that's a good idea. But it is a kind of temporary situation, right? We're going to be removing this. So it's, I think, okay for right now. And then we would just bring this guy right on in at exactly 90 degrees. And then this guy would come in right on over here or so. Okay. So it would be something along the lines of that. Of course, we're going to need on-off ramps over here, and we can get that done nice and easily. So we'll just grab our one-lane, one-way highway, and that would go in right about here. We can turn snapping back on, and that would go about here. Ooh, that was not curve tool. Let's have that be curve tool. Thank you very much. That'll go in right about here, and then out right about here. Next up would be the off-ramp side, so that would be up here and over about here. Okay, so there's that side done. Next up would, of course, be here, which from this perspective would go right up like that. That slope too steep, so we'll have to take it out one level. That works. And then this would, of course, want to go back over here or so. It's not perfect, but it's fine. That'll do for now. Now, the question is this going to alleviate this traffic jam? It's an interesting question, to be sure. I do want to make this entire area be low-density housing right up through here, so we'll do exactly that. There we go. This traffic jam is attempting to go this direction and then primarily just entering the roundabout, right? But that does indeed seem to alleviate it somewhat. Cool. This is a very temporary situation, though. That is going to be replaced with a more sensible setup. Now, we've got this out over here, which got rezoned, so we're just going to take those out of here for now. Cool. Oh, look at that. We have definitely eliminated a lot of the water over here. It's not completely gone, but a lot has drained out. So that is a very good sign. That is a very, very good sign. A lot has drained out over here as well. There's a lot less water now. We've still got a fair amount over this way, and it's draining out over here. Yeah, that looks good. We're definitely making progress on drying out these areas. There's still some water over here. Okay. It looks like we need to create a drainage trench somewhere over this way. So I'm going to do one here. So I want to have it be about like that. And then I'm going to also create one just to be on the safe side out over here. I want this to go down to this level. Okay. So something like that will allow this to drain out a little bit better. And we're going to be changing these surface areas, right? But what I'm going to do up over here is I'm going to create more trenches. More trenches seems to be very effective. So we're just going to do something like that. Around here, we're going to do something like that. We've already got one there, but we don't need any further up. So that looks reasonably good on that front. Okay, checking in up over here on the status of this. Oh, it is about to go over. Fantastic. So we can use this to set our actual water level. So that'll be great. I want to check in on the dam here. So, yep, we can see we're at full efficiency. That is absolutely great. No problem whatsoever there. So that's looking phenomenal. The water appears to be getting under control now. We may want... actually, there's just this little area out over here still, and over here. Things have definitely significantly improved on the waterfront. And I mean the term waterfront very literally in two different manners. But things are definitely getting better over here. Now, we're going to have to redo all of this eventually. But yes, things are certainly improving on that front. So I think we're getting a handle on how the water physics works. Things are still a little bit rough over on this side. They're still very pooled in over here. But it should absolutely be flowing out here, and I believe it to be flowing out. So that looks great. We do see a traffic jam down over here. I'm not shocked that we're having some issues here, just given this setup. In fact, I'm going to fully take out this section here. I see that they've got some turn lanes here. We might utilize those. So I'm going to fully take this out, and we're going to change this and make it a lot simpler. So we're just going to completely remove this section here and completely remove this section here. This was always something we were intending to do. We just weren't in a position to really do it before, and now we really are in a position to do it. So I want this to be at elevation of 10, and I want to take this right down over... Well, we'll just deposit the pillar here, I guess. Oh, this is in curve tool. Hang on. Straight line, please. Yep, deposit the pillar here. I think we're going to have to go up here. And then over. And then back down. Something kind of like that. Maybe not, actually, looking at it. I'm not sure that we do have to go up and over. Let's take that out. And I would like to bring this guy straight on through. Yeah, we've got this road here that makes things a little bit awkward for us. And I also want to terraform this a little bit so we can get this a little bit bigger. There we go. Much better on the brush front. And I want to, like, level the terrain here to, like, this level for right now. Or actually, to, like, this level. Okay. So something kind of like that. So that brings up that height a fair amount. Then we can extend this guy out. I would love to drop a pillar right in between those highways, but I don't think that's going to end up happening. So we can just put this right here like that, and then just bring it straight down to the city limits, right? And then from there, the idea would be that it's going to be very basic. We would just have an on-ramp that would come out over here and would curve up and in, and then an off-ramp over here. I guess it really depends on what you're looking at, right? But it's a little easier to create from this angle, I feel. Well, actually, I want it to go about like this. Indeed. But it really does need to be curved differently, doesn't it? Yes, it does. The curve of this actually needs to come in more like this. Okay. So then we would have it come like so. That slope too steep there, but we can have it be out over here, and I guess that's fine. And then this one would need to come in over here like that. And that cleans this up significantly. Very significantly. Now, we've got these turn lanes over here, and I do want to remove those. This is not exactly where I wanted that to go. We're going to remove that as well. Curve tool. And we're just going to bring that in about like so. There we go. Now, removing these turn lanes. There we go. And we need to do the same out over here. So this is going to be something like that and something like that. We could put in an additional turn lane over here if I knew how, which actually I don't. But presumably that's possible. Maybe those are just like put in as alleys? I don't know. I'm not sure how those are built, but we'll figure it out eventually, I'm sure. So currently we have a lot of people trying to go onto the Lindbergh Highway. And that's creating a traffic jam right here. So that's noted. I'm wondering what we want to do about that. What are they mostly doing? Honestly, a lot of them are coming in and then going this way. Okay, let's track, say, this guy. He comes in, turns around, and then goes straight. I think the ones that are going this way are the ones that come down here, turn around, and then go like this. I think that's what it is. However, we do have an issue out over here where we have a lot of people struggling over this way. So one thing we could think about doing is taking this up to a 3-lane highway and just having this be the turn lane out over here. Like that. So we now have 2 through lanes, and then we have the 1 turn lane, which is turn only. That might help matters here. So yeah, that definitely does the trick. Now we've learned how to do that, so that is phenomenal. That will help matters, but there's still a lot of people trying to get into this 3rd lane because apparently they didn't think this through very well. We could have this be a 2-lane exit if this is a persistent problem. And that may be something that we need to think about doing. We'll see about that. For now, I want to check in up over here. How are we doing on that water? It is significantly improved, although there is still some water here. It will take some time. There's some water up over here too. That is also improving. Checking in up at the dam. We are about to breach over this. Excellent. So with us about to breach over this, that is, of course, going to start filling this section of reservoir up to this dam, right? So that'll be absolutely great. And once we do get over it, in fact, we might be increasing this over here. I'm not 100% sure about that. We'll see, but that area is definitely full. So that looks good. We've definitely got some progress being made here. Apparently, this is getting water damage. Those are very awkward. I don't actually want this to be zoned out here. Okay, let's unzone these areas. This was definitely not intended to be zoned up. Okay.
And try to stay off the streets until
get out of here, please.
This has been a local public service announcement.
Thank you. We don't want you building there. Hey, stop it. I just told you not to build there. Apparently those didn't get dezoned. Okay, that'll do it. There we go. Now get out of there. Excellent. So the water is getting more under control. Of course, this section of highway is a little bit awkward, but we also need eventually some on-off ramps over here. Ah, looks like this did clean up. Excellent. So that's very, very good. If this cleaned up, that's great, and we want to get some on-off ramps going over here, right? So I do want to get those done. So that would be, this is going to be a kind of awkward curve here because it needs to curve pretty sharply, but something about like that. And then this would come in somewhere over here. About like that. Mildly awkward, to be sure. And then beyond that, what about if you're going this direction? Well, if you're going this direction, then obviously this section of road needs to be eliminated.
We'll be back after.
And we need an off-ramp that comes in. That's all sloped too steep there. And then that gets overlapping items here. Okay. So that's noted. What if we brought it out over here? That's still sloped too steep. That's like a 30% grade. Yeah, technically it works out here. This is pretty high. No doubt about that. I'm going to take these out of here and let's rebuild this section of highway. I think we need to adjust the height of it. We definitely need to adjust its height over here, right? So let's take that out of here for now. And let's get this highway built back in here. Its height is clearly off. So let's bring up our elevation here. Get this aligned. There we go. And then we'd look to bring this right over, right? So I would very much like... I think what we really need to do here is take out these sections of highway here and get them put into being properly on the ground. Taking out this bridge is, I think, not useful. But we can bring this in over here. That was not what I intended to do either. I guess if we took out one bridge, we may want to take out the other, but this is now going further back. Okay. Yeah, definitely not ideal. Okay. So we're going to bring this over to be about here, right? And ultimately, we're going to want this to be at 0 meters. So this is going to be mildly awkward, for sure. But then I want to bring this over to about there, and then this one would come on over to about here, except I want it to go kind of more like that. This is definitely imperfect, but it'll do. That makes them be a bit lower anyway, and should be easier to make the highway over, in theory. That's the idea anyway. So we'll raise this up and bring this guy right on over. This is now mildly awkward. Overlapping items due to the pillar there. Okay. I want this to snap only to angle right now. So only angle, please. Can we sneak this in somewhere here? The answer is no due to the pillar, but we can sneak this in here. And then eliminate this section of highway. Turn snapping back on for the moment. And drop this guy here. And this section of highway would have to go around this pillar, right? Alternatively, I don't want to actually raise up the height now. That's no longer necessary here. So we could think about dropping a pillar. I want to snap only to the angle, please. Dropping a pillar here at minimal distance. And then something like that. Then we would look at taking back this section of highway, and we would bring this in. Snapping back on, please. We bring this in to be around here. I want it to be in Curve Tool. That would help. In Curve Tool, we would bring this in to be about here. And then that would come around over this way, right? About like that. It's not great, that's for sure. And we'll need to reverse its directionality, but we can definitely do that. We might redo that a bit later on. Yeah, I hate it. I hate this section of it. Okay. So with that taken back, we're going to try something a bit more like that. Except, of course, that'll need to get turned around as well. Okay. I still kind of hate it, but I guess it'll do. So, on-off ramps. I'm willing to bet we're not going to be able to fit this in here. But I want Curve Tool. So it would come out like this way, right? And then we would be looking to bring this in over here. It's like a 30% grade. Even that slope too steep. Okay. Yeah, that might be a little bit complex. This can come out over this way, in theory. But it really doesn't want to. We can bring it out like that, and I guess that's fine. And then this can come in over here, about like that. This can come in over this direction without any major problems, except for slope too steep. Yeah, there's a lot of slope too steep there. But that would just come in something kind of like this. Even that slope too steep. 17.4% is too steep of a grade? I beg to differ. We've had way steeper grades than that. This is only 14%. Why is that giving slope too steep? I guess this works. And of course we're going to have to flip that around. But sure, that works. It's not great, but it does work. And then this here, I'm not sure how we're going to squeeze this guy in. This is only a 4% grade, but it is overlapping here. Okay. This is only a 4% grade, but is overlapping because we're at the wrong altitude. Okay. Oh, we started low. I meant to start high. Okay, that would do that would do it. So we'd bring this in, and it would be something like this, right? That slope too steep, but the slope that it's talking about is actually right here. So if we were to take this section out and rebuild this guy up this direction, right? We'd want to take this up to 10 meters, drop a pillar here, and then bring it straight in. So something like that. That definitely changes the geometry there. Let's see if that allows us to get this in here. That still sloped too steep, but this works. Okay, this is definitely imperfect over here. No doubt about it. This road would have to be rebuilt going underneath here, which there's so many pillars. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to pull that one off. And I want to be in Curve Tool. So in Curve Tool, we're going to take this road and just move it. I think we're just going to link it in over here, kind of like that, and call that good. Okay, that'll do for now. It's definitely not amazing, but it'll work for the moment, and once we find issues with it, then we can fix it. Looks good. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to observe our river behavior. We should be starting to see this breaching over very, very shortly, and I think it is ever so slightly beginning to. So that is great. We're going to continue to observe our river behavior, draining out these areas as well. We should probably redo our river line a little bit. We'll definitely want to spend some time doing that. And we can expand out over this way as well if necessary. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. We forgot to build a chunk of that highway. We'll do that next time too.